My name is Kim Sukiya, and I am 68 years old. For 30 long years, I've served the chairman's family. I wasn't just a housekeeper. I was a shadow, a silent witness to their lives. I raised their children, managed their home, and kept their secrets. The chairman, who recently passed away, always treated me with a certain kindness. He would often say, "Sukiya, you are part of this family. Don't you ever forget that." I held on to those words, believing they were a promise of a secure future, a reward for my unwavering loyalty. His wife, whom I called Madam, was always more ... polite, but with a wall I could never seem to cross. Their 2 children, Minjun and Sujin, are now grown adults, with lives and families of their own. I remember changing their diapers, soothing their fevers, and cheering for them at school events. They always called me Auntie, a term of endearment that warmed my heart. Now, the day of the will reading has arrived. The air in the grand living room, a room I have cleaned thousands of times, is thick with tension. I stand quietly in the corner, as I always have, waiting. The lawyer, a stern-faced man in a pristine suit, clears his throat. He adjusts his glasses and begins to read from the document in his hands. The atmosphere is heavy. Madam sits perfectly still, her face a mask of dignified grief. Minjun, the eldest son, nervously taps his foot, while his sister, Sujin, dabs at her eyes with a silk handkerchief. My own heart is pounding in my chest. I'm not expecting a fortune, of course not, but the chairman's words, "You are part of this family." Perhaps a small sum, a token of appreciation that would allow me to live out my remaining years without worry. It would be more than enough. The lawyer drones on, listing assets, properties, stocks, art collections. The bulk of the estate is to be divided between Madame Minjun and Sujin, as expected. I listen patiently, my hands clasped tightly in front of me. The lawyer passes, taking a sip of water. He seems to be approaching the end of the main distributions. My hope begins to flicker. Was I foolish to believe his words meant anything more than simple kindness? The lawyer continues, and now, for the final bequeathment. He looks up from the paper, his eyes scanning the room until they land on me. For the first time all morning, everyone turns to look at me. I feel a flush of embarrassment creep up my neck. To Miss Kim Sukiya, the lawyer announces, his voice echoing in the silent room, in recognition of her 30 years of devoted and loyal service, for her tireless dedication which went far beyond the duties of an employee, and for being a true, steadfast member of our household, ... double quotes. He pauses for dramatic effect. My breath catches in my throat. This is Italiano. Chairman Parr leaves his collection of antique porcelain teacups. A collective, almost imperceptible sigh of relief seems to ripple through the family. Sujin lets out a small, stifled giggle, quickly covering her mouth. Minjun smirks, shaking his head slightly. Madam's expression doesn't change, but I see the corner of her mouth twitch. After 30 years, my loyalty is worth a set of teacups. Humiliation washes over me, cold and sharp. I feel like a fool. I manage a slight bow. "Thank you," I whisper, my voice barely audible. I want to be invisible, to shrink into the expensive wallpaper I've dusted so many times. The lawyer packs his briefcase. The family begins to murmur amongst themselves, their attention already shifted to their newfound wealth. The tension has broken, replaced by a celebratory air. I am forgotten in my corner once again. Later that day, a young man from an appraisal company arrives. The family, it seems, wants to know the value of everything, down to the last spoon. As a final, almost mocking gesture, Minjun asks him, "While you're here, why don't you take a look at the antique? Let's see what my father's generous gift is worth." He says it with a laugh, and Sujin joins in. The appraiser, a polite young man, agrees. He carefully unpacks the dusty wooden box I was given. He takes out the first cup, a delicate piece of white porcelain with a faint blue pattern. He holds it up to the light, turning it over and over. The appraiser pulls out a small magnifying glass from his bag. He examines the bottom of the cup. his brow furrowed in concentration. The room falls silent. Minjun and Sujin stop their snickering and watch intrigued. Madame looks on with mild curiosity. The appraiser puts down the first cup and carefully examines the second, then a third. His expression shifts from professional interest to one of genuine shock. He looks up, his eyes wide. "Excuse me, ... where did you say these came from?" he asks, his voice hushed. Mingun scoffs. "My father left them to our housekeeper. They are probably just some old junk he picked up somewhere." The appraiser shakes his head slowly. "No," he says, his voice filled with awe. "This is no junk. This marking. This is from the Joseon dynasty. A royal kale." He looks directly at me. "Ma'am, this isn't just a set of teacups. This is a designated national treasure. A complete set like this. It hasn't been seen in over a century. Its value it's practically immeasurable. It's worth more than this entire house, possibly more than everything else in this will combined." The silence in the room is absolute. It's so quiet I can hear the frantic beating of my own heart. Minjun's jaw is hanging open. Sujin looks as if she's seen a ghost. Madame has finally lost her composure. Her face is pale, her eyes wide with disbelief. I look down at the simple, elegant cup in the appraiser's hand. The chairman, he knew. He always knew their value. This wasn't a thoughtless gift. It was a secret, a final, clever act of kindness meant only for me. He had given me a treasure, hidden in plain sight, ensuring that his greedy family wouldn't be able to touch it. He knew they would dismiss it as worthless, just as they had dismissed me for 30 years. He had truly seen me. A slow smile spreads across my face, the first genuine smile in a long, long time. I look at the shocked faces of the family who saw me as nothing more than furniture. For 30 years, primera servedem. Now, I am the wealthiest person in this room. My new life is about to begin. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more.